Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. A particular youth group in the north has insisted that President Muhammadu Buhari led federal government should be held responsible for the bandit attack on the Kaduna bound train. I'm just wondering why the federal government should be held responsible, just as you may also be wondering. But then we're going to look at his statement about this because he talks about the issue of rumors about this particular bandit attack. And in another development, El-Rufai has told Nigerians that if the president does not act as at when expected, especially in the issue of this banditry attack on his state, he's going to employ the services of foreign mercenaries. Now, a lot of security architecture, security agencies in the country has castigated him over that statement, bringing in mercenaries. And some persons also say that it was this same mercenary that was brought in some time ago, which ended up making Nigeria so porous for people to come in. But this same youth group stands to support him over this. We're going to be looking at their standpoint, even as we advise you also to subscribe to our channel by hitting on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our news. Now, AYC National President Yerima Shetima had disclosed that there was rumor of imminent attack on the train 48 hours before the bandit struck. Now, speaking exclusively, he wondered why security agencies failed to act on the intelligence, and he stressed that the failure of security agencies to act was an indication of compromise on their part. That's quite a strong word. Now, you're going to hear the exact word of Yerima Shetima, who is the national president of Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. And according to him, he says that the Nigerian government should be held responsible because the security and the welfare of Nigerians are its responsibility. However, on this matter, it relates more to the federal government. The real issue is purely a federal government affair. It's expected that before the federal government would have allowed the train to start operation, the security of every passenger should have been put into consideration. That's true. It should have been put into perspective. That wasn't the first time or second attempt. There had been other attacks before, and this last one that got blown. The government should have known that it needs more preemptive measures to be put in place and expect the unexpected. Before the incident, ordinary people, not security agents, were privy to information that there were likely to be an attack. There was rumor all around 48 hours to that attack. So, how can the government tell us that they are not aware of this attack? It means security agencies have been compromised. He went further to say, he said, so we can't look at the security agencies alone without linking it to the federal government because they must take responsibility for this carelessness. This attack must not be allowed to happen again because this alone is a national disaster. No country would accept this. So, for me, the federal government should take responsibility as they didn't manage the situation well. Those responsible for these attacks should be brought to book and dealt with decisively. Now, if it is the federal government that failed to do this, who then will deal with the federal government? That's the big question that we should, be talking about right now. Then let's just look at also their statement, in respect to the issue of the governor of Kaduna State bringing in mercenaries to help out in the situation they are currently finding themselves. Now, according to the same Shetima, uh, he opened up, he said, I am in total support of that because it is the duty of El-Rufai to protect the citizens of Kaduna State going by the constitution. So if he feels he can no longer trust our security forces as a result of their compromises in one way or the other, then there is no reason not to bring in the mercenaries. And on this, I totally support and agree with him. All we want now is the result. Let's bring this madness to a standstill once and for all. It is no longer a story that we have all the military forces based in Kaduna State. That's the shocking part of it. apart from Abuja. But that notwithstanding, this is not the time to go through all these bottlenecks. We need a radical change, an approach to keep Kaduna safe with all the to keep Kaduna safe, sorry. He said, with all these presents, what good is it to Nigeria and Kaduna today? So if that is the only way he thinks, then let him do it. We can't continue with this humiliation. Yes, that word humiliation is what the country is currently going through. And shockingly, it's not just the humiliation, is not even to the common man who walks down the street. It is to, number one, to the presidency, and number two, even to our security architecture. I mean, this news that we are hearing on a daily basis about, continuous breaking into the country without any holdback from anyone is a pointer to the fact that Nigeria's sovereignty can no longer be respected. You understand? Because if something like this happened and we see bandits strolling around, even Ghana, this small country, Ghana, that is close by to Nigeria, these things are not happening there. I was reading the story of Egypt, and I realized Egypt is not so vast in terms of population. I think they're about demography wise, they're about 80 million people or so. Now they have more than 1 million military protecting this number of people. Now, well, Nigeria, we have as much as more than 200 million people, based on the fact that IDP camps are everywhere and people are leaving other countries, to break into the boundaries of Nigeria. But yet, we do not have up to 1 million military officers who are protecting the territorial right of Nigeria. It's quite troubling, I'm telling you. These guys, these forces will just wake up and perambulate in any corner of Nigeria and cause a lot of mayhem. Nigerians no more even trust the military again. They no more trust the government to protect their lives. I feel that El-Rufai, whatever step he wants to take, but then he has to be careful, because these mercenaries that we're talking about should not just be some hunters in other countries who may use fetish means, because by the time they come in here and realize that Nigeria is very porous, before you know, those same people will sit back to begin to do their own biddings and make money out of it. So even if you're going out to bring foreign mercenaries to help out in securing your own state, you've got to enter into reasonable agreement, and it must be a constituted group that you should bring in. That's just the little thing I can put there. Then, talking about the issue of blaming the federal government, I think these guys are right. The big question that we have always been asking is, why is it that when we hear intelligence like this, it's being played down on intelligence, whether it is from trusted people or trusted source or not from trusted source, put relevant protection or relevant alert on ground, so that in event of such happening, you can stop it. And then somebody say something very touching here about the issue of the federal government not kickstarting this railway business if there were no security on ground to protect the rail itself and also the people in the train. And for me, that is true. Amechi has opened up that no one should blame him. All the blame should go to the federal government, because he had already made presentation in that respect, that the government should, provide enough money. But because of administrative bottleneck and all of that, that was not provided. And right now, Nigerians are screaming and talking. The big question is, what is going to be done to correct these abnormalities, because it's been there for too long and Nigerians are no more comfortable with it. Go to our comment section, let's interact. What's your standpoint on it? Do you support Kaduna State Governor bringing in mercenaries to help protect his state? And do you think the federal government is to be blamed in totality with respect to the Abuja Kaduna train bombing? Let's interact.